Let's go through some cold email copywriting mistakes. If you're new here, you might not know this, but I'm known around these parts as the cold email king because we've sent millions of cold emails. This is like our thing. This is what we do. Besides sending millions of cold emails, we have hundreds of people in our course, Email 10K, where we teach people how to send cold emails to grow their businesses. And we've done a ton of consulting. I've personally done a ton of consulting. And even on this channel, you see us rewriting emails, going from bad email to good email over and over and over and over again. So throughout this whole process, I've come up with a couple cold email mistakes that I've seen people make over and over again, and that's what I want to talk about in today's video. Here are some common cold email mistakes and how to fix them. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. Learn how to book meetings with billion-dollar brands and take your company to the next level at email10k.com. The first mistake is no personalization. And I know why you do this. I used to do this too. You think that personalizing an email takes way too long, and you'd rather send an email out to 1,000 people than spend 2 minutes per email writing custom first lines. Well, I gotta tell you that that is not going to help you in the long run, especially if you're not testing your cold emails and you're just sending out a script that you created to 1,000 people. What works instead is personalizing the email, writing a custom first line at minimum for each of these emails as you send them out. We have a video that goes through exactly how to write custom first lines. We also talk about this in our course. Check out the presentation at email10k.com. So personalization is giant. If you can just write a couple keywords, hey Alex, love the YouTube video you did on email personalization, then jump into your pitch, that is so much more powerful than, hey Alex, I run a company that does XYZ. Like, no one cares. Come on. Which actually brings us to the second point, being too me-centric. Me-centric means your email is about you. So for instance, if I was to write an email and it said something like, hello, Tom, my name is Alex Berman. I run a cold emailing consulting company where we've helped millions of people gain more clients using cold email. That's one way to write it. The other way to write it would be, hey Tom, huge fan of all of the work you did growing your agency. I run a cold email consulting company and I'd love to help you generate more clients using cold email. Notice that just by adding that little bit of you-centricness, making it less about me and more about them, we're able to increase the quality of the email and thus get more responses. This is the type of thing that is very simple, doesn't require more work, and will increase your response rates by a vast amount, considerably. Another issue that people run into is they're sending too much information. I tend to delete emails that are paragraph after paragraph long, and most people do too. Now, what I try to do is make the email fit on the phone screen. Just, if you see this phone screen, that's about as long as your email should be. 3 to 5 sentences, not too much more than that. If you find yourself writing paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, you need to sit down and realize that no one's gonna look at that, one. But two, you need to be able to understand your business enough to crunch it down. Typically what I like to do is, hey name, custom first line, 1 sentence case study, ask for the meeting. That's all you really need in a cold email. If you're writing paragraph after paragraph, you're doing something wrong. And if you want some of our email scripts, check out Email 10K. We have all of our email scripts in there. If you really feel like they need to see all this info, then what I would do is have the call to action of the email be, mind if I send some more info, have them say yes, and then send this long information dump. But in general, you don't need that at all. The next big mistake is these emails will have no clear call to action. They'll say stuff like, let me know if that's of interest to you, period. Or even just a big info dump with nothing in there. Like, what am I supposed to do with this email? Instead, you want a clear call to action, meaning, hey, would love to hop on the phone and talk about doing this for you. How does Thursday at 2 p.m. work? Or mind if I send over a few times for a quick call? Just those 2 sentences alone will increase your response rates. A lot of the time, if people aren't responding and you're following all of these tips, it's because you're not actually asking a question. Now, the call to action in general works better if it's a yes or no question. Mind if I send over some info? Yes, now you're sending over info. Now you're talking to each other. It's happening. Rather than, do you have any questions about lead generation I can answer? Which is something that people ask in emails, and I do not know why they're doing this. Another big mistake is trying to sell on the cold email itself. And this can work for cheaper products. Like, let's say you're selling a $15 software product. You might be able to sell it via cold email, but if it's that low price, I would probably sell it via ads. What I typically specialize in are high-ticket B2B products. So B2B services and productized services that are anywhere from $2,000 a month up to $1 million, $2 million contracts. And those are best served by sending a cold email to get them on a call where you then pitch your product, build a relationship, and then close. They're not served by sending a cold email and trying to get someone to buy right away. You're not gonna get somebody to buy your $10,000 a month service by asking for it on email number one. You need to build a little relationship, even if that relationship happens over a 15-minute phone call. It needs to happen. So when you're sending these cold emails, make sure you're asking for a call using the calls to action that we just talked about. Like, hey, mind if I send over a few times for a quick call? The dream of selling $10,000 deals over email, I'm not gonna say it's not possible, because I've definitely spent massive amounts of money without talking to people on the phone, and I've sold to people without it. If you're a new entrepreneur just starting out, get on the phone with people. And it's not just because getting on the phone is some magic bullet. It's because you're gonna learn a lot of soft skills. Right now, Robert, my co-founder, has made millions of dollars via cold email. And yet, when we're launching Institute of Sales, he is still booking meetings with clients and meeting with them. Because anytime you launch a new service or product, if you can get in the room with customers, you can learn more from one 15-minute call than you would after years of surveying or guessing based on cold emails without any customer communication. So that's the main thing. If you really want to gain a lot of experience fast, you need to talk to customers. You're not going to learn this from a course. You can learn the baseline from a course, especially a great one like Email 10K. But if you're not in there talking to customers, you're not really going to be making progress. And that's why in our course, we tell you and get you on the phone with customers as soon as 15, 20 minutes after you sign up, because if you're not in the actual world, playing around in the world of entrepreneurship, it's all just theory, and it's basically a waste of time. We're not hobbyists here, right? We're trying to create businesses that are going to change our lives. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. Hey, are you still thinking about investing in Facebook or Google ads to grow your business? Well, I just did, and it took me $10,000 to break even. So unless you have that to drop before you see any results at all, I highly recommend you look into cold email, because it's a better and cheaper way to kickstart your business. And honestly, I wish I would have invested the 10K in cold email. I would have seen a much bigger return, and have in the past. Hop in Email 10K and watch the free presentation. So those are the top cold emailing mistakes. Have you noticed yourself making these mistakes? What was your biggest takeaway from this video? Let me know down in the comments. Let's get a conversation going. Smash that like button to encourage this type of content. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.